I am the only survivor in my family. Boko Haram has exterminated all my family. We continue to live in fear.
Away from inland localities, the terrorists hit Marwa in 2015 with a double blast at the vicinity popularly called Ponve and the handicraft market.
We continue to come here for distraction, even though we lost some of our beloved in the Ponve blast.
The resilient populations of the far north region now go about their activities with memories of victims of Boko Haram terrorism.
In the northwest, the military command in that region has carried out what it described as one of the most successful military operations in recent times. The operations, which took place in Bafut and instructed by the commander of the 5th Joint Military Region, Brigadier General Kamer, has resulted in the killing of 5 self-styled separatist generals who were reported as the origin of most killings or most kidnappings in Bamenda. Kilo Valerie Sala reports from Bamenda.
Presenting a succinct report to the general and his état-major, the commander of the task force, Major Vincent de Paul Bouillon, said for over a week, the soldiers made up of the police, gendarmerie and army carried out targeted and cleaning operations in Pining, Bali, Chomba, Bosa and other strategic locations, during which hideouts of the terrorists were invaded and wiped out, 6 of them neutralized with weapons, locally made explosives and other materials confiscated. General Cavalier stressed that the blocking of the Bamenda-Ekok Trans-African Highway has taken a toll on the northwest economy and will only get worse if the population continues to adhere to the demands of the terrorists.
The road is open. Vehicle can ply the road without any problem.
A minute of silence was observed in honor of fallen soldiers, and the citizenry requested to conquer fear, unite against the terrorists, encourage their children to stop fighting the state, and collaborate with the security forces in an effort to reinstate peace and normalcy in the northwest.
As you must have corrected, that was Julius Neba reporting on the resumption of circulation on the Bamenda-Bali to Ekok Highway, which has been restored by the military in that region. And we stay in the northwest, where the delegate of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, Bonaventure Nimpa, has observed with dissatisfaction the disregard of national symbols and emblems by the population of that region. To restore the respect for the flag, national anthem and other symbols to reinstate the dying spirit of patriotism in the citizens, the regional delegate is leading a caravan to all the fondoms, administrative structures and other institutions of the region where national flags and copies of the national anthem will be distributed. Mabel Mekemdi Sakem reports from Bamenda.
A display of the significance of the national anthem and due respect accorded to the national flag. This is the beginning of the campaign to valorize the national emblems and symbols in the Northwest region, led by the Regional Delegation of Youth Affairs and Civic Education.
When we are hosting the flag, we will tell them that the flag is not to sleep even there or to even be abandoned under rain and sun.
Many flags and other emblems have reportedly been destroyed since the escalation of the crisis in the region, and other unpatriotic behaviors are gaining grounds.
Those national symbols have something to do with God. It is our message to God, a message of love, unity, a message of peace to ourselves. We are asking the Northwesterners to respect them.
Over 1,000 Cameroon flags and printed copies of the national anthem have been handed over to representatives of public structures, traditional authorities and other institutions for onward valorization as the caravan breaks through.
As you heard in one of our headlines, the 2021 results of the Cameroon General Certificate of Education, GCE, have been released by the board today, with a success rate of 59.08% for the ordinary level and 69.94% for the advanced level. Circulating on social media platforms in PDF format, successful candidates who already have their results in Yaoundé have been expressing their joy and ambitions following the publication. Romeo Kenyi captured the reactions of some of those students in this report.
Even under the rain, they assembled to verify GCE result. At last, they are finally out, and hard work has paid for many.
It was really fun for me, and I'm in real joy. I'm happy to have this examination. I had English, economics, and French.
I'm very happy that I've succeeded my GCE O level, and I think I will do A4.
The results have been pulling great attention on social media platforms, and successful candidates have stopped at nothing, sharing them with friends and family members. Focus now is on what next. To some, it's the question of vocational training that tickle minds.
My ambition is to reach the university and enter the biomedical field.
I had some facilities in economics, yes, so maybe I will continue with economics, and I'm really enjoying.
Overall success stands at 59.08% for ordinary level, and advanced level is 61.94%. For those who did not make it in the examinations this year, they are hopeful to correct the mistakes next year, as if to say, never say die until the bones are broken.
Indeed, Romeo. Onto the West region now, a regional forum on the promotion of inclusive education under the leadership of the Minister of Social Affairs, Pauline Irene Guinée, in collaboration with the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, has rounded off in Bafoussam. Educational stakeholders present cited early marriages, poverty, lack of qualified staff, documentation such as birth certificates as key obstacles hindering equal access to education in that region. Kelvin Nembo reports from Bafoussam.
Education is a fundamental human right, yet most school-age children in the West region have been repeatedly denied access to. The most affected, young girls and vulnerable groups such as IDPs, indigenous people and children living with disabilities. During the forum, guest speakers who presented exposés on equal right to education, challenges and the way forward, set for inclusive education to be fully implemented, sociocultural, educational service and economic barriers, for instance, forced marriages, poverty, lack of qualified staff, birth certificates, stigmatization amongst others, must be eliminated. Social Affairs Minister joined the UNICEF country director to invite the stakeholders in the educational chain to synergize their efforts and seek adequate solutions to the disturbing issue for a more equal and just society.
Intensify inclusive education is one of the main goals of the government. The government has created, about 2 years ago, 65 inclusive education schools. We came here to reinforce the sensitization of the community, the families, the parents. Everybody has to be actors in this battle. I think all of us together, something will happen.
To ensure a stress-free back to school, the minister donated school material to some 300 vulnerable children present.
The entrance examination into CRTV's Institute for the Training and Preservation of Audiovisual Heritage kicked off today with some 220 candidates sitting the examinations in 5 regions of the country. The candidates wrote in 9 professional disciplines, and the exams are unfolding in strict respect of COVID-19 barrier measures. The 2-day examination ends on Monday with the oral test. Rehanatu Sali reports.
At 9 a.m., the signal is given. Some 222 candidates are sitting the entrance examination into CRTV's Institute for the Training and Preservation of Audiovisual Heritage in 5 regions of the country. At the Audiovisual Training Institute in Yaoundé, it is a serene atmosphere.
Everything is going very well. We have 220 candidates in our different centers in Garoua, Boya, Bafoussam, Douala and Yaoundé. Just to give a chance to all Cameroonians all over the country who are passionate by audiovisual industry to train.
Candidates are writing in 9 fields of study, from audiovisual archiving to backpack journalism, maintenance and transmission, graphic design and camera operation. The exam is unfolding in strict respect of COVID-19 barrier measures, with security beefed up in and around the campus. The 2-day examination ends on Monday, August 23rd, with the oral test. Results are awaited in less than a month's time.
The impact of the avian flu and the coronavirus outbreak have had on the poultry sector is still preoccupying to government. It is in this light that the African Union recently launched a campaign to encourage poultry farmers to carry out the activity intensively. Some poultry farmers in Cameroon who applied to benefit from the initiative, which seeks to provide financing and technical aid, received a delegation of experts from the African Union. Beatrice Losamba reports.
The poultry sector in Cameroon felt the sting of the coronavirus pandemic. Eggs and day-old chicks had to be imported, and consequently chicken price hikes were a major concern to the population. The chicken crisis, however, was seen as an opportunity to bring a turnaround in the sector. The African Union launched a project which seeks to encourage poultry farmers to expand their territory, forming resilient family cooperatives in the sector. A few poultry farms in the country lived up to requirements for selection, and a team of experts from the African Union are in the country to see if the picture they painted of their farms matched reality.
From what we have seen, they are fully compliant to international standards, and we're sure their operations too will be based on international standards.
The partnership between the AU, ECAS and Cameroon will lead to the creation of extensive family poultry farms, which will supply the entire Central African sub-region with day-old chicks in the months to come.
Agrocam in the Noon Division was the first on the selection list, hence the start of the AU delegation's visit from here. They will visit scores of other farms which met selection criteria in the ongoing project to give life again to poultries and make them last during tough times.
The Director General of the Cameroon Real Estate Company, Dr. Amadou Sadauna, has assured individuals to whom the over 100 low-cost apartments have been attributed to stay calm as government takes measures to ensure electricity and water supply. Mr. Amadou Sadauna met with South Regional authorities in Bolova today after paying a visit to the project site in Ngalan, where he said there is need for the site to be kept neat and safe. Pontianos Bonglim Wanlawong reports from Bolova.
Construction work on the Bolova 100 low-cost apartments has been completed since about 2 years ago, but the buildings are yet to be occupied pending the supply of water and energy.
Water could not reach the houses. We equally have the problem of the connection of the electricity. It was not that secured. The report was sent to the owner of the project, which is the Mindu. It is now up to Mindu to try to settle these problems.
The Cameroon Real Estate Company, CAMSIC, has approved the applications of 82 persons so far, either for tenancy or for total acquisition. The Director General, Dr. Amadou Sadauna, says the persons will occupy the buildings as soon as they are ready.
The governor himself met Eneo and Kamwata. Until now, we did not have the result. Eneo giving us 36 million of an estimate to do the connection in Galan city.
Touring the project site alongside Governor Felix Ngelengele, Dr. Amadou Sadauna has also noticed the need to keep the surroundings of the buildings clean and safe, and this has been one of the issues addressed in a working session that held at the governor's office.
On our health page on the news tonight, focus is on cholesterol, problems tied to cardiovascular diseases. Too much cholesterol finds its way to the bloodstream through eating saturated fats, processed foods, and other high cholesterol diets. Beatrice Losamba reports that this is a serious problem everyone is susceptible to face if they are not keen on making health lifestyle changes. Her report.
Nearly half of the population is said to have experienced cholesterol problems at one point in life. Simply put, the amount of fats that found its way to their heart superseded desired doses.
We have the total cholesterol, which is all the cholesterol in the body. We have the good cholesterol, which helps the body eliminate other forms of cholesterol. And we have the bad cholesterol, which is what easily attaches to the walls of your arteries.
The body needs cholesterol to function, but too much of it leads to cardiovascular diseases, among others, doctors say.
A heart attack, a stroke, and also what we call vascular dementia, so just dementia due to reduced blood flow to the brain.
According to research, some groups of people are more susceptible to high cholesterol than others.
So cholesterol increases with age. We have blacks tend to have higher cholesterol than some other races. Men have higher cholesterol than women up to the age of about 55. And most importantly, some people are born with high cholesterol. So this is a genetic form of it.
There are lifestyle changes to make to avoid excess cholesterol, such as adopting a low cholesterol diet chart, which includes less animal fat, less processed foods, sodas, and deep-fried foods.
Doing a lot of exercise and stop smoking.
When making lifestyle changes doesn't yield much fruits, the physician might resort to prescribing medications after a cholesterol blood test.
Despite our efforts, COVID-19 plunged many families into mourning and seriously hampered the functioning of our economy and society.
The University of Buea this week launched a COVID-19 research project in partnership with York University in Canada and other organizations in Africa. This research will focus on predictive modeling and forecasting of the transmission of COVID-19 in Africa using artificial intelligence. For more, let's join Borin Sama, standing by on the campus of the University of Buea with his guest, Professor Gideon Gua. Hello, Borin.
Good evening to you, Fredeta Bissong. Welcome to the campus of the University of Buea, where I should say it's a laudable initiative for this university being involved in this research project as far as COVID-19 is concerned. Let's find out more about this research project with our guest tonight, Professor Gideon Gua. Good evening to you, Prof.
Good evening, sir.
What's this project all about?
This program, which is led at the University of York in Canada, is all about using data science and artificial intelligence to monitor the spread of COVID in real time. And it has, as a part of its objectives, to monitor new cases, the spread of the new variants, the uptake of intervention measures, both pharmaceutical and non-pharmaceutical, and also the way the population responds to the issue of COVID, misinformation, conspiracy theories, and the issue of vaccination. What we do is to share experiences. We meet and we share experiences of what is happening in the different countries. I must add that the consortium has centers in Rwanda, in South Africa, Nigeria next door. Each of these persons have different expertise which they bring on board. And we, at the University of Buea, we are mathematical modelers. The experts in South Africa, they have a lot of experience in artificial intelligence. And so we meet as different researchers, we share these experiences.
Thank you so much, Professor Gideon Gua, for that piece of information, a laudable initiative indeed at this point in time when we have the spread of the most deadly variants of the coronavirus, the Delta variant in Cameroon. This research project that the University of Buea, in partnership with other institutions, has been involved in. Back to you, Freddie Etabiso.
Thank you, Bodin, and your guest, Professor Gideon Gua. On to this advertorial now. Orange, Cameroon, and Anafoot are working hand in glove to promote football and propel young talents at the national level. The essence of the partnership agreement between both organizations was disclosed in Yaoundé during a press briefing. More on the prospects of this accord with Maimouna Njoya from CRTV Center here in Yaoundé.
Promoting the talents of youth in football and training them to be fit for international competitions is one of the goals which Orange Cameroon seeks to achieve. This justifies the long-term partnership agreement with the National Football Academy, Anafoot, which is aimed at giving the best opportunities to youth at home and abroad.
Orange Cameroon has supported the Cameroonian football for over 20 years, and it's still engaged in supporting. But to build leaders of tomorrow, Orange Cameroon has to focus on those people that make the tomorrow, our tomorrow, that is the youth. And today with Anafoot, Orange Cameroon is building youth talent, and not only to build this youth talent, it's building as well as preserving our ecosystem to teach our youth to be responsible Cameroonians.
With much enthusiasm and great expectations, the general manager of Anafoot, Carl Eno Ngachu, has lauded this initiative.
And the dream of Orange is to make sure we come out with talented players, and we also have one dream at Anafoot, bring out the best of these players. So we're happy today because the partnership has been realized, and we are hopeful that we are going to meet up with our objective. That is, make sure we have the best of players that will join some elite clubs, some Division 2 clubs. Why not having some of these players go professional?
Orange is today the official sponsor of football tournaments in 11 African countries, and this falls in line with its mission of enhancing excellence, determination, and passion in youths.
Gastro Panel for the Diagnosis of Gastritis, a tool for health emergency. That is our book of the week. Authored by Ivo Alonge Ebule and published by Nya Publishers, the 81-page book gives comprehensive knowledge on the cause of gastritis, symptoms, diagnosis, and treatment. Through this book, the author wants to break the myth that gastritis, that affects 90% of the total population, is not caused by witchcraft or spicy food. Emmanuela Vemioy read the book for the 7:30 News.
A read through the 81-page book gives the reader comprehensive knowledge on gastritis, its causes, symptoms, diagnosis, and treatment, a way to dispel the myth that gastritis is caused by witchcraft and spicy food.
Gastritis, which is injury to the stomach lining, is now associated with a variety of infections, medical and surgical conditions, medications, physical stress, and social habits.
To the author of Gastro Panel for the Diagnosis of Gastritis, the book is a tool for health emergence.
This book is highly recommended for everyone, especially gastroenterologists, general practitioners, nurses, and the general population. This book is also intended for policy designers and decision makers on how to achieve cost effectiveness and savings on the heavy burdens caused by gastritis.
Dr. Ebule, in simple language and through diagrams, demonstrates that gastritis is curable if
the exact cause, severity, location of the gastric of the infection, and the level of gastric acid are known. Diagnosis thus plays a major role in the eradication and management of gastritis.
Affecting 90% of Cameroon's population, Gastro Panel for the Diagnosis of Gastritis, a publication of Nya Publishers, appears like a practical guide to manage the illness.
Chronic atrophic gastritis leads to loss of glands and cells that produce acid and enzymes. and is associated with deficiency of iron, calcium, magnesium, zinc, and vitamin B12.
Dr. Alonge Ivo Ebule hails from Tumbel, Southwest Region, holder of PhD in immunology. He is the director of the School of Assistant Laboratory Technicians in Limbe, a gastric consultant and researcher.
We now talk sports. The Secretary General of the Confederation of African Football CAF is back to the nation's capital after a visit to the Western North region's sites to host some of the group games of the African Cup of Nations. Mr. Veron Musengo Umba inspected the stadia of Garwa and Bafoussam as well as hotel facilities accredited to the tournament. Wilson Mengole has details of that visit to the North region.
The joint visit by Musengo Umba, CAF Secretary General, and Narcisse Mwele Kombi, Minister of Sports and Physical Education, was to take stock of the state of Runde Adzeomi Sports Stadium, the main competition ground of Pool Z. The Musengo Umba-led team verified and commended the quality of the turf. Similar atmosphere at the training stadia of the annex of the Runde Adzeomi Sports Stadium and Senajes. The CAF officials equally visited Hotel Ribadu, Saint-Hubert, and Benue, which will host the delegations of 7 times African champions Egypt, Nigeria, Sudan, and Guinea-Bissau. The town of Garwa will equally host one of the quarterfinals of the competition as outlined by Narcisse Mwele Kombi, president of the organizing committee. Garwa is ready, waiting for the D-Day to set the ball rolling.
And that was a package we put together for you tonight. Thanks for always choosing to watch news on CRTV. More news comes up at 8:30 with Atta Badin Omar. And I shall be back tomorrow with more. My technical crew join me to wish you a splendid evening.
I urge you once again to put on your face masks, to wash your hands regularly, and to consult a physician or any other health personnel if you notice any symptoms.
Madam, good morning. I know exactly what you can find now.
You know me very well. I am a faithful customer of my yard.
Ah, madam, you correct. See my pop-up as he fine and he really brown.
And my fish for roastam. Trust me, it really tastes so.
100% extra refined.